Hi students, it's Mr. Jepson over here at School in the Park in Balboa Park. I have another book for you today. This one's called Dasha on the Trail. This book was written and illustrated by Gwynne Margaret Bruck. She was apparently a sea captain for many years and decided to give up that career and become a children's book writer and illustrator, which is pretty cool. The book is about a dog that likes to go for walks at Mission Trails. Mission Trails is a really cool place. If you've never been there, it's just endless trails, different loop tracks that go around all over the hills there. So it's a really cool place to explore, and there's lots of local wildlife and plants there that you can check out. So the book kind of gets into some of the wildlife that the dog encounters. And the book's kind of interesting because it's actually from the dog's perspective. So I would say that this book is more educational about Mission Trails specifically here in San Diego. It's very familiar to me because I live near Mission Trails, and I think it's really cool and fun to see it from a dog's perspective. So let's jump in and read Dasher on the Trail. Dasher on the Trail by Gwynne Margaret Bruck. Dedicated to all of the kind people who rescue dogs and Mission Trails Regional Park. Hello, my name is Dasher. I'm a husky, shepherd, boxer, St. Bernard, Basenji, Chihuahua, and with one blue eye and one brown eye. I have keen senses and I am excellent at finding things. Darkling beetles, fence lizards. My favorite thing to do is go on a hike. I discover so many interesting things. Let me show you. And then we see a picture of a Nuttall's woodpecker high up on a tree, and Dasher's down below wagging his tail, very excited. Wagging her tail, sorry. See the raven soaring overhead? If we were ravens, we would have a view of the entire park. And then we see a picture of a raven and a kind of a map showing you all the different trails around Mission Trails Regional Park with all the different wildlife that you're going to encounter. We'll learn more about them in the book later. On the other side here, on a sign, it says, Dasha loves to hike in San Diego's chaparral amongst desert cottontails and coyotes. There are many parks and preserves in San Diego where chaparral is found. And I think chaparral is kind of it's a kind of a shady area with lots of shrubs and small trees. And then it tells you all the places where you can find that. Balboa Park, where I am right now. The trails in Balboa Park here. Daly Ranch in Escondido. Los Penasquitos Canyon Preserve, San Diego. Tecolote Canyon Natural Park. Tijuana River Valley Regional Park. San Elijo Lagoon Ecological Reserve, Cardiff by the Sea. Santa Isabel Nature Center in Santa Isabel. And Sycamore Canyon Gooden Ranch in Poway and Lakeside. Today, let's explore Mission Trails Regional Park. So there's all the different cool places you can go explore and find wildlife. Do you know the difference between a raven and a crow? Ravens. You can see ravens shrug their shoulders as they call out in low, throaty voices. Note their angular tails as they soar high in the sky, alone or with their mate. If you are lucky, you may catch an acrobatic air show, dive bombs, barrel rolls, and they can even fly upside down. What? And then the raven makes the sound groink. It's about 24 inches in height. And then we skip over to crows over here. Lively crows flap their wings as they fly. Fan-shaped tails become visible as they land. They are social birds that prefer to gather in a group. They bob their heads as they caw, coo, click, and rattle. Perhaps dogs bark at them, hoping to join the party. And then we see Dasher playing with a couple of crows, and they make the sound caw, caw. And they're about 17 inches, so they're smaller than ravens. What a beautiful two-page illustration here. I'm not a fan of ravens, and I'm not the only one who finds them irritating. Look at the coyotes chase these ravens across the grasslands. The ravens swoop down so the coyotes can nearly catch them. The coyotes leap high into the air, but those mischievous birds fly upwards at the last minute, cackling. Oh, it's kind of like they're teasing them. I really like this picture. I love to see coyotes. They are free. I have to stay on my leash at the park all the time. I'm not as clever as coyotes, especially when it comes to rattlesnakes. The coyotes can live with snakes, but I have trouble living with my cat. You see a bunch of coyotes dancing and playing. Over on the other page it says rattlesnake eaters. Give a snake a break. Why should you leave rattlesnakes alone? Because they have a venomous bite, of course. They have to protect themselves because so many animals in the park want to eat them. And then we see all the animals like the coyotes, the bobcats, the roadrunners, the hawks, the great horned owl, which is one of my favorite kinds of owl. And then king snakes even eat rattlesnakes. And of course, humans that like to sometimes cook them up. Do you know what cats and rattlesnakes have in common? They both bite when provoked. See here, we see the snake is stretched out across the trail. When it's flat like that, it's not as dangerous, but you should probably still stay away. And on the other page, when it's curled up like that, that's when they can strike. That's where they get their strength from. Look, a wild relative of my cat, a bobcat hiding in the bushes. He is very shy. I'll just take a quick peek and leave so as not to disturb him. Dasha, leave it. Then we see the bobcat is hiding there. Dasha's trying to check it out. And on the sign it says, can you help Dasha find more animals? We're looking for a black phoebe, a ground squirrel, a red-tailed hawk, Butta's pocket gopher, a yellow-rumped warbler, a mule deer, and a striped racer. So you have to look for those things. I can see a couple. Desert cottontails. So many animals like to hide on the trails, but I can find them. My favorite animals to spot are the rabbits. I call this place Rabbit Hill. Here, I always see at least one rabbit, but most of the time, it's more like 10. We see a bunch of little bunnies bouncing around on the trail. Not all animals hide. In the grasslands, roadrunners strut right across the trail with lizards in their beaks. They are very bold. And we see a picture of a roadrunner with a western skink in its mouth. And this one's a greater roadrunner. I've only ever seen a roadrunner once when I was driving across the desert, and it was pretty cool to see it. Whoa, sometimes tarantulas come out of hiding too. They cross the trail looking for a mate. At first I thought they were scary, but when they walk, they look like furry wind-up toys. How scary is that? And then we see an ebony tarantula. Yikes. There are so many trails, it's hard to choose one. When I try a new trail, I find animals, plants, and land that I've never seen before. We see a California thrasher and the chaparral. Chaparral is a tangle of bushes and small trees. Grasslands are a sea of tall grass. Coastal sage scrub, a fragrant stroll, and riparian, a shady walk along the water. So we see a raven, a rosy boa, and a common slider in those different areas. Coast live oak, big old tree, and a Baja California chorus frog. This riparian trail follows a creek. Listen to the frog song under the canopy of trees. Here we will cross the water and climb alongside a rocky waterfall. I used to be afraid to get my feet wet, but now I love to splash right through. Then we see Dasha going for the water, climbing some steps, and of course, Dasha's owner is picking up her poop and putting it in the trash where it belongs. We end our hike at the old Mission Dam, which is always bustling with energy. It is a great place to meet other dogs with their families. And here we see a really cool scene of the old Mission Dam, a place that you can go and visit. And there's a little placard down the bottom that explains the history of the dam. And we see Dasha with her owner. I hope I will see you on the trail. If we meet, I'm shy like a rabbit, Let me come to you, and you may get a lick. And I really like the license plate here. It says LTZ walk. I think it's supposed to say let's walk, and that's Dasha's thing, is to go for walks at mission trails. Very cool. Last page is a bunny, and then on the back it has some more information. Dasha on the Trail is a hike through Southern California's rugged landscape as seen from the eyes and snout of a light-hearted pup, Dasha. She sniffs out animals on the trail like mischievous ravens and her leash-free cousins, the coyotes. She longs for freedom, but knows a tame dog might not know all the tricks of this untamed world. Cool. A little bit more information about the mission trails. There's a quote from the Mayor Todd Gloria, who I believe is from City Heights. And there's some more information about the author, Gwynne. Says, after 25 years as a boat captain, Gwynne decided to change course and become writing and illustrating children's books. In her first book, she highlights some of the local wildlife that Dasha points out on their hikes together. It is her hope that readers will learn a little about their wild neighbors and go out and explore the beauty of San Diego's open spaces, which is something I personally love to do. So I really love this book. Let's go back to the start here. So Dash on the Trail is a really cool book. I really love the artwork and the writing. I love learning about all the different animals in Mission Trails, because that's a place that I like to go to with my dog and my children. We like to explore the area, and when I look at the artwork, I love the color scheme because it's very familiar. Some of the like the signposts I recognize from Mission Trails, and some of the wildlife too. It's really cool. You don't always get to see all that wildlife, but it's cool to have a book that points it all out, so if you can kind of keep an eye out for it now. And I liked learning about the different areas in Mission Trails. Like, I wasn't sure what Chaparral was, but that's the kind of area that I like to go to. That's where you're going to find probably most of the wildlife. And it's fun to see the artwork of the coyotes dancing around in the long grass. We see coyotes near our place all the time across in the canyons, and they're kind of noisy at night. But they're kind of cool, but I try to stay away from them, keep my dog safe from them. So I thought Dasher on the Trail was a really fun, cool book to read. I learned a lot, and I think it's really educational. I'm impressed that the author also did the illustrations, so a lot of work went into this book by that one individual. And yeah, I would definitely recommend this to third graders. Now we want to know what you think of the book. Would you recommend it to third graders? Did you like the story? Did you like the artwork? What were your general impressions of this book? Would you recommend it to others?